In today's episode, we're going to be talking to Ron LeGrand, none other than the Ron LeGrand. We're going to talk about what every real estate investor needs to know and the secret to getting terms in a seller's market. And believe me, my man, Ron LeGrand, knows how to do it. I interviewed him just a while back, and I was so impressed, I wanted to bring you some of the meaty moments of that conversation. So stay tuned. We're going to watch how this conversation went, and you won't believe his angle on how to get terms. He's the master.
Let's start with, let's say you're buying a junker.
Okay.
You're buying a junker. You got to go to the right targets, don't you? You got to go to where the junkers are, and you got to deal with the people who need to sell. It's no different in the pretty house business. The mistake a lot of people make is that they're dealing with unqualified leads and they don't have a script, and they totally screw up the phone call and you expect miraculous results. So it's the same thing. We find prospect, we pre-screen them, and then we let the sellers make us offers by asking them questions. And then we just get go to make the visit, get a contract, and then we sell it on terms. We probably should define what terms are, Mitch. You're in Texas, so terms in your states are simply either buy it with owner financing or buy it subject to, and then sell it with owner financing. In any other state, I can buy it with owner financing, I can buy it subject to, or I can lease it with an option to buy. And in my case, I put tenant buyers in the house. I'm in Florida, because I really don't want to sell it. I want to have a tenant buyer in there who's giving me thousands of dollars non-refundable option deposit, not hundreds, thousands, going toward their down payment when they buy, and all the responsibility for the repairs goes to them. Now that's my kind of tenant, because I've had hundreds of the other kind where they call me if their toilet's plugged up. I don't get any calls like that. And plus, if these people move, and frankly, most of them do, then they know that their deposit is forfeited and they lose it. So we just go put another tenant buyer in there and collect thousands of dollars more. We keep that going, keep the golden geese alive.
Okay, so, you know, a lot of people are scared of Florida and owner financing because it's a judicial state and it's a little harder to get people out of the houses. Explain your angle on that.
Well, easy. Don't sell them, lease option them.
Right.
Okay. First of all, I'd have to evict them if they didn't pay, but here's what people don't get. Somebody gives me $20,000 down or more, they're going to pay. Because if they don't pay their rent, they lose that 20 grand. That's a totally different mindset than sticking somebody in there who can barely come up with the first month's rent. I don't have tenant problems. If I have tenant problems, they got a lot to lose. So, and we do have those cases sometimes where we have to work it out with them, but we work it out with them. I don't want to see them lose it just because they can't pay their rent. But again, if I had to, I'd evict them. I haven't evicted. I can't even remember the last time I've evicted anybody, Mitch, as where. But I don't sell with owner financing in Florida because I don't want to give up the property and I don't want to kill the golden goose. And again, if I did have to foreclose on it, it's easy 6 months or more here in Florida. And where I live, you have to write a check for $3,000 just to file foreclosure. Unlike Texas, I might add, where they practically pay you and you're in and out in what, a couple of months if you have to foreclose in Texas?
Yeah, you know, in a perfect world, like 45 days, but it's usually 90 days, you know, so you never hit the timing right. You know what I mean? So there's no perfect world, at least not in my office.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, though, even selling it with owner financing, you give up so much. Look at what all I get in the terms business that you don't get in the ugly house business. Number one, I get as big a check or bigger up front than anybody gets wholesaling the house.
I love that.
Keep the golden goose alive. I get a monthly cash flow from the difference between their rent and whatever I'm paying for long term. I get depreciation. I get appreciation. And a big one is I get debt pay down. And when they move out, I get to go do it again and pick up another big check. So the goose just keeps laying the golden eggs. And the longer I'm in the house, the more money I make. It's just that simple. So what I like about it is the residual income, frankly, more than anything else. That monthly income can easily be built to the point to where one can get out of their job or their profession because it could easily overtake it. And then now you don't have to get up to go to work. You got that residual income coming in, regardless of whether you're sick or in Hawaii, or even dead for that matter.
Or COVID for that matter.
Well, or COVID. By the way, I tell you, everybody I talked to is doing a whole lot better this year during COVID than they were pre-COVID. How about you?
I was surprised, we're our collections, because, we're selling to owners, the same thing with decent down payments.
Yeah.
Our foreclosure, our collections is almost better than it's ever been. And, it doesn't make sense, but I don't know,
what I think, maybe, I'm just guessing, maybe people just afraid to move and they don't want to have to go out in a covert environment and find something other than another place to live. And that is a wild guess. Okay. But it's my guess.
It might be right, because the people are just like, I'm secure here. I know who I'm around. I don't want to get out and go about and,
Plus they already have skin in the game. They put up a down payment.
That's the big one, I think. That's the real big one. Plus, these people are more likely to do improvements, which gets them in even financially deeper, which is, a great thing. I hope you're enjoying my interview with Ron LeGrand. It's always a great day when you get to sit in the room and interview one of your heroes. Many, many, many years ago, 1996, 1997, somewhere around there, I bought Ron LeGrand's course, and it changed my life. And he and a few other guys combined, when I mixed it all together, I was able to find myself and launch a career that not even I could fathom where it was going to go. So if you find this kind of information inspirational, helpful, or even some nuggets that are going to make you some money, please mash on that like button, press on that share button, and subscribe, because we're going to be giving content like this over and over and over every workday for a long time. You'll want to be sure not to miss any of it. Okay, let's proceed with this interview with Ron LeGrand. Let's go back to the beginning. You're looking for these potential properties that would consider seller financing. Are you looking for free and clear houses, or what are you looking for?
All the above.
Yeah.
75% of the market has a loan on it. About 25% doesn't. So frankly, they're both easy targets, but you got to have sellers that want to sell and do not have to have all their cash today, Mitch. If they got to have all their cash, we're not going to take terms. Okay, but it's a false assumption just to assume that everybody's got to have all their cash right now. And that's assuming they even got cash coming. All right, many houses I'm buying for the amount they owe. They don't have anything coming. So I'm just making their payment. It's not hard to get people to agree to let me make your payment for you, because they don't have anything coming anyway. They might have some equity, but they're willing to give it up to get debt relief, as you well know, many years as you've been at this. Then free and clear houses, there's a lot of reasons people will take terms on those. They don't have that debt. So that's one motivation they don't have, but they get an income stream. Plus they get their house sold. They get it sold quickly and easily. There's no easier way to sell than to sell to me, because I make it easy. Move when you want, leave what you want in the house. I'll close now so you're closed. No commission. I'll pay your closing costs and all of that. That's no way you're going to sell it any easier than that. Plus we give them, not full price necessarily, not full retail price, but it's not about price in the terms business. It's about the terms. Unlike yours, where you got to buy it cheap, we don't. Now, I don't pay anybody top retail, but sometimes I'll pay 90% of the value of the property with good terms. Yeah,
you can pay over what a house is worth if you can get the terms that you want. And there's always a set of terms that can overcome the price.
You can, but that just isn't built in me. That would keep me awake at night.
I didn't say it was a good idea. I just said,
oh man, we don't pay more than what it's worth.
So you learn to listen with a different set of ears when you're talking to these people, right? And you're asking questions. To the listener, seems like one kind of question, but to you, it's a whole different. You're listening for something completely different. Tell us about how you talk to them.
We'll play. I tell you be my seller, and I'll be the buyer, and I'll call you on the phone. Now, first of all, you need to understand that our leads come from several sources. And by the way, that's a key right there, because the more qualified the lead, the easier it is to get to an end result that you like. And people who advertise online are the least qualified, but any seller we can get to call us 10 times more valuable. So we have a system where we get them to call us as well. Plus we chase the ones online. I have a whole floor of virtual assistants that don't do anything but call sellers all day for our students, for leads we furnish and leads that they furnish. But by far the best leads are when the seller calls you. So when the seller calls, they fill out a property information sheet. Okay. That property information sheet then goes to the student, or goes up on their site. And now the student's got to make one closing call. All right. So I'm going to make that closing call to you. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Now, when the PA got that information, they point blank asked the seller, would you consider allowing us to make your monthly payment until you're paid off, or making you a payment if it's free and clear? Seller either says yes or no. So we got a yes lead and we got a no lead. Right? I'm going to call about 25% of them are yes leads. All right. Now we call them all. That's two different scripts, but I have time to go into the no script right now. So let's just do the yes one. Watch how simple it is. All right. Calling you on the phone. Hi, Mitch. This is Ron.
Hello, Ron.
Talked to my assistant yesterday about the house you have for sale, and I got all the information here, so I don't need to go through all that again. Have you got a minute to talk?
I sure do.
Okay. Well, listen, you indicated that you might consider us making a payment until we get the house paid off. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Okay. All right. Well, I really only got a couple of questions for you, and that'll determine whether we need to meet or not. All right.
Okay.
All right. If we can't agree on the terms, and I'm going to pay the closing cost, and there isn't any commission, and I'll close whenever you're ready, and leave whatever you want. You don't have to be out the day we close either. That's big for some people. So if we can agree upon the terms, what is the least to take for the house, Mitch?
Well, I have about $15,000 worth of equity, plus or minus. I'd like to get some of that.
Okay. Well, what is the least you could take?
I'd like to get the whole 15,000.
All right.
It's worth it.
Well, I'll know what your house is worth when I'm calling you, because the VAs ask what they want and they ask them what they think it's worth. All right. So let's say your house is worth $250 and you're asking $240.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you go $210.
Okay.
Good enough? All right. So now let's try it again. What's the least you could take for the house? Mitch, I see you're asking $240. What's the least you could take if we can agree upon the terms?
Could you give me like $230? Give me 20 grand so I can get where I'm going?
Well, I'd have to take a look at the house before I can tell you what I can give you, but so you're going in the right direction. Is that the best you can do?
I really need to get that 20 grand, do some things with it I need to do.
All right. We usually buy with nothing down. You telling me you have to have 20 grand down to sell?
I don't suppose I have to have anything, but that's what I'm looking for.
Well, how close to nothing can you get? Keep in mind, I'm going to pay the closing costs. You don't have to come closing with a dime.
Can you at least give me 15 of that?
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't know till I see your house. So let's wait till I come out and take a look at it, and we'll get that ironed out while I'm there, or we won't. But you'll know before I leave. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Okay. Are you the only owner of the house, Mitch?
Yes, sir.
All right. So no wife hanging around?
No.
So nobody else needs to sign, right?
No, sir.
All right. So what time would you like for me to come out?
Sooner the better. Tomorrow, today.
All right. All right. Fine. Listen, one more question. If I come out to your house and we agree upon the terms, are you ready to sell your house and get some paperwork done while I'm there?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I'll see you at 4:00 tomorrow then.
All right.
Now, let me ask you a question. Who just made whom an offer?
I just made you an offer.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. So now I got to come to your house and decide whether I like your offer or not, don't I? And I can tell you right now.
I already know you're not going to like it. I can tell you right now. You're going to pick this house apart.
But you've given me enough information to know I want to go to your house. I know you will sell with owner financing. I know you want $15,000. And I also know I'm probably going to have to give you a down payment. You will be shocked at how many people, when we say we usually buy with nothing down, okay? They say, okay. You'll be shocked if you have.
So that's a key word right there. We usually buy with nothing down and then shut up, right? We usually buy with nothing down and then shut up.
I put shut up right in the script.
I learned well from you, Ron. I learned well.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed that interview with Ron LeGrand, because I certainly did, and I hope you got a lot out of it. I always learn from that guy. He's been doing it for a very long time, and it pays to pay attention to him. All right, that concludes this episode. I'd like to offer you the first 100 pages of my book, My Life in 1,000 Houses, Failing Forward to Financial Freedom. In this book, you'll learn exactly how I forged my way from zero to multi-million dollar status. It wasn't easy. It wasn't fun. It's a lot of falling down and getting up. I don't leave anything out of this. As a matter of fact, a lot of people ask me, are you really going to publish that book? And when I said, why are you asking me like that? They say, because you're falling down so much in it, you don't look so smart. So it's all about the failures. But then again, it's all about not stopping at those failing points, getting back up and going forward. That's what this book is all about, failing forward to financial freedom. All right, just go to 1000houses.com/free-stuff and scroll up and down the home page and see all the free stuff we have to offer. And when you get to first 100 pages free, click on that and it'll be downloaded digitally in a snap and you'll be off and reading. All right, I'm out of here. I'm off to the next episode. I'll see you over there.